Welcome once again to the Ahern Video Podcast. Today I want to address hours of service and the impact it's having on the industry and the impact it's eventually going to have on the economy. In my newsletter I said that I did a radio broadcast called Road Dog several weeks ago, and Road Dog is a syndicated national news radio station that is syndicated to about 1 million truck drivers. And I did the interview because I wanted to listen to the truck driver side. I wanted to see how dramatic the impact of hours of service was. And as we got into the dialogue and we got into the conversation, I heard from drivers from all over the country. And the bottom line is the impact is dramatic. Drivers are making less money. They've got more wait times. And a lot of them are getting so fed up that they're just about ready to walk out the door. I've stated in my newsletter, we have several issues right now. First of all, we have an aging driver population. And secondly, it's very difficult to attract new potential drivers into the system. I mean, if you look at this winter, it was the worst winter, they say, in 40 years. If you talk to the old timers who've been around for 80 or 90 years, this is the worst winter they've ever seen. So take that as an example. It's 55 below zero or whatever it is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That driver gets in the truck. That driver goes to California in the worst circumstances possible because that driver believes that he has a commitment to his employer. He gets to California, he may wait 3 or 4 hours to deliver a load. Now, what kind of signals does that send to the driver? Think about it. Would you get in a truck at 55 below zero? No. Would you endure the type of hardships that most over-the-road drivers do? No. So what's going to happen? What's happening is the driver population is shrinking. Many companies are sitting with empty trucks up against the fence. Empty trucks up against the fence means lost revenue. Lost revenue means lower employment. Lower employment means less spendable income. Less spendable income means rates go up. I think the problem that we have, and it doesn't make any difference whether you're Republican or Democrat, all you have to do is understand basic economics. We've got $17 trillion worth of debt. We're printing $200 million a day in phony money. We are no longer recognized as the world monetary domination. China is very afraid that we're going to collapse. Many of the analysts are predicting that we're going to collapse. And here you have a truck driver whose source of income is to make sure that that truck's on the road all the time and to make sure that they get paid. And you've got shippers that are making the driver wait an exorbitant amount of time. They're showing total disrespect to the driver. They're showing total disrespect to the trucking company. And we're doing nothing about it. We're going to be forced with the new federal mandates to increase driver wages, because if you don't increase driver wages, you're not going to have any drivers. And if you don't have any drivers, more importantly than that, you're going to have to start adjusting your rates immediately. If you're not, do it. You have to constantly analyze your lanes, constantly analyze your customers. If you have a customer that historically has paid you in 25 days, and now they tell you they're not going to pay you for 60 or 90 days, get rid of that customer. Find somebody else to haul for and start moving your trucks into that direction immediately. There is one company whose name I won't mention that says we're not going to pay you for 120 to 180 days because we're the giant in the industry. Well, you know what I say to the giant? You ever hear the story of Jack and the Beanstalk? Jack is coming to slay the giant. Sooner or later, nobody's going to haul your product. How do you expect someone to deliver a product and wait 6 months to get paid? I think the other thing you have to do is you have to integrate dispatch with management philosophies, and you have to educate your shippers. We're not doing it, but you can do it. And if a shipper makes you wait 6 or 7 hours to deliver a load, there better be a surcharge on there, and they better pay it, or you remove your trucks from them. Until shippers start realizing how important we are to their survival, we're not going to make any impact. We have all these social organizations attacking trucking. They want to reduce the hours of service limits now to 10 hours. Come on, for crying out loud. But you have people that are uneducated, that don't understand business, that don't understand our industry, making decisions. That's like a plumber coming into an operating room for open heart surgery and say, cut out the heart, it's a bad heart. And the guy wakes up and he doesn't have a leg. Think about that. That's how ridiculous this is. But until we do something as a group, until we start putting some pressure as a group, this is going to continue. I recently read an article that on IRS. I guess the government decided to give a lot of the IRS official raises. Now, these are some of these IRS officials that are collecting tax dollars, hadn't paid their taxes in 3 or 4 years. Why are they immune? How can they get a raise? April 15th was a staggering and sober time for many of us. All the tax deductions are gone. Small businesses today cannot get loans to perpetuate their business. They need to be creative. They need to think outside of the box or they're not going to survive. Don't believe what you read in the paper. Look at the reality of the situation. In reference to CSA compliance and hours of service, it's impacted our industry dramatically. It's going to continue to impact our industry dramatically. We're going to continue to lose drivers unless we do several things. One, educate the shippers. Two, anybody that's continually holds up delivery of a product, their rates automatically go up, and that some of that money is going to be passed on to the driver. And three, wages are going to have to go up for drivers, period, end of discussion. When those wages come up, they should automatically impact your rates to your customers. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, the consumer is going to pay for it. Maybe if the consumer starts seeing what's going to happen. I mean, recently they were complaining that products were going up because of the drought. Products are going up because transportation costs are going up. You can couch it any way you want it, but if we didn't have all this political rhetoric and we weren't trying to jockey in position, because ultimately 46% of the population doesn't have full-time jobs, we wouldn't be in this position. In closing, treat each driver as a profit center. Treat each truck as a profit center. Treat each customer as a profit center. And anytime that you can't get a proper fuel surcharge, anytime that there's long waits, anytime that you're not getting paid within a 28-day period, start moving your truck someplace else. A smaller carrier has to do it more diplomatically than a larger carrier, but do it because what that shipper is telling you is they don't care about you. Until next time, thank you for attending the podcast.